Iron Man is arguably the best hero in Marvel Rivals, and I'm not saying that just because it's the only hero I've played so far. We're talking about a guy who went from being kept alive by a car battery to one of the most powerful beings in the universe for a few seconds. Now, I spent a good amount of time in the tutorial, honing my skills enough to qualify for giving advice on the internet. Iron Man is a very versatile hero. He can melee, he can shoot from far, he can fly, he even has a built-in taunt. He can also turn invisible, but I haven't figured out which button triggers this. Iron Man has 3 abilities and an ultimate, which I'm pretty sure shooter games are required to have by law these days. Let's go over his ranged attack. Left click is the regular attack, as is demonstrated in the clip. As you can see, I'm not even hitting my target, yet both enemies are taking damage. This is extremely useful for people who like shooter games but don't want to put in the effort to learn how to aim. Right-click attack is an energy beam coming from the chest, kinda like in the movies, except in the game the beam lasts for a very long time before Iron Man needs to reload his clip with laser bullets. Next up is the melee attack, which looks flashy and cool but doesn't really fit Iron Man's intended playstyle, and you will see why later. Iron Man's greatest strength lies in flying. In fact, if you ignore the existence of Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Star-Lord, Cloak and Dagger, Namor and Storm, then Iron Man is the only hero with the flight ability. Iron Man's first active ability grows a marijuana leaf on his back, making him look way cooler and probably increasing his damage or range or something. This ability also allows him to use his missile barrage skill, which I had to find out during live combat testing cause the tutorial wasn't enough for a dumbass like me. The missile barrage can also be used while the third ability is active, which is a speed boost. You see, Iron Man's default flying speed is snail-like, but this ability increases the speed to that of a civilian drone, which is actually faster than it sounds. I'm sure professional griefers love this ability. Last but not least, we have the ultimate ability, which is a big ball of energy that seems to pack quite a punch. That is, if you manage to survive the cast time. Apparently, Iron Man can also activate a team-up when teaming up with Hulk, which causes some green goop to pulsate around your spine. It's probably kryptonite or something. Either way, it doesn't look very healthy, so probably best to avoid teaming up with the Hulk. In my limited but extremely efficient playtime, I've managed to come up with 2 viable playstyles for Iron Man, both of them utilizing his aerial superiority. First one I like to call Iron the Show. What you do is you hover over the battlefield with your ultimate ready, biding your time. Once an opportunity presents itself, you unleash the ultimate on the unsuspecting enemies, and then dive bomb into them right after, unleashing your missile barrage at the same time. The result? You steal the show and ace the enemy team, gaining respect and elo at the same time. Here is the strategy on display in all its glory against actual enemy combatants, so you don't think I'm some random nobody talking nonsense. First clip, I'm hovering behind enemy lines, waiting to strike from the shadows. I release my ulti and the missiles, killing one enemy. I proceed to fly in Groot's face to let him know it was I who killed his teammate. This is done purely for mind games and not because I forgot how to turn off fast flying. Second clip, I am once again sneaking on the side, looking for an opportunity. I see multiple enemies enter a house and begin my combo. Unfortunately, lag messes up my combo and the rubber banding doesn't let me enter the house, ultimately resulting in my demise. Third clip, and perhaps the prime example of how Iron Man should be played. Here I am defending my base. I unleash on the enemy team and dive right into them. It should be a clear wipe, but for some reason none of the damage registers and I end up looking like an absolute fool. The second playstyle I have developed for Iron Man is less subtle. In fact, for this to work you need to have balls of steel, but not so heavy that you can't fly. What you do is you simply fly high up in the air and taunt as many enemies as possible. Bonus points if you fly right above them, limiting their field of vision even further. The goal is to get them to focus on you while your team cleans up. Now, keep in mind, movie Iron Man didn't have plot armor, and neither do you. You have 250 health, which means you can take about 250 shots before you fall, so you better make them count. I will now show some video evidence for potential non-believers. First clip, this is me tanking the enemy team while my team is playing the objective like a bunch of losers. Naturally, I don't last very long and I fall in battle, and as my lifeless corpse falls on the pavement, you can see one of my teammates run into a building to hide like a coward. Unbelievable. Second clip, I am once again frontlining like a true man of iron, and I have my teammate Hulk with me, but he makes the crucial mistake of not hugging me to provide extra protection with his big muscles. Third clip, here the game has just begun and I already have the enemy team's attention, but once again I make the mistake of trusting my team to know my plan without telling them. The evidence presented makes it pretty clear my strategy is viable, but only with adequate teammates. Luckily, that problem usually has two solutions: pre-made groups or negative reinforcement. Of course, if neither of my strategies appeal to you, then you're always free to play an off-meta style of hiding behind your team and shooting enemies from afar, which is what a lot of high-ranked players like to do for some reason. Here we have a rank 1 player who's playing this peekaboo style of hiding and shooting. He's not taking advantage of flying high in the air, because unfortunately the map doesn't allow it, which restricts him from executing my strategies. This is a classic case of having the wrong hero for the map, in which case the optimal choice would be leaving the game and searching for a new one. Next we have a top 10 Overwatch player shooting the enemy team like fish in a barrel. If there are any seasoned fishermen watching this video right now, what is the most efficient way to catch fish? Exactly, dynamite. This is the perfect opportunity for the player to execute the iron the show strategy, but unfortunately he forgot to charge his ulti before the game in the shooting range. Rookie mistake, which is why he ended the game with only 41 kills. Lastly, we have a top 500 player flying around rooftops all careful-like, until a situation presents itself. With the help of the enemy team Storm, he raises a large building, which opens up the map significantly. Now, he has three potential options how to proceed. A. Continue playing safe on the side. B. Rejoin the team and play the objective. Or C. Help the local residents rebuild the house. Can you guess the correct answer? Write it down in the comments below. 3, 2, 1. The right answer is actually D. Take to the skies to assert your dominance. If you got this wrong, then perhaps you should rewatch my whole video. Very disappointing. The player of course opts for playing safe instead, which is completely fine. Some people like to play for fun instead of elo. Now, I must warn you, despite everything I've shown you so far, Iron Man does have one glaring weakness. Exactly. Iron Man is dummy thick, booty for days. Some may call it a weakness, others might call it a weakness. I call it video game balancing. I think I covered the most important parts. If you think I missed something, then you're probably wrong. And if you still find yourself doubting my credibility, here are some screenshots of my post-game stats. Haters will say it's fake, and to that I say thank you for watching.